Sensory marketing, defined as all marketing practices aiming to use one or more of the five senses to favor the purchase of a product or service, is certainly not a new concept. Word of mouth advertising is often referred to as the most effective form of marketing, and it's been around since the advent of language. In order for there to be marketing, a message must be vocalized and heard. Without two-way communication, including sound, there is no marketing taking place. But Joel Beckerman, in his book Sonic Boom: How Sound Transforms the Way We Think, Feel, and Buy, takes sensory marketing to a whole new level, particularly as it relates to sound. This 168-page book, co-authored by Tyler Gray and published by Mariner Books, not only discusses how sound can be used in marketing, but it also makes the case that the use of sound in marketing is just as important as any other sense, and that should be included at the beginning of any marketing plan put together for a company. Beckerman's not alone in this. Aradhana Krishna, who's considered to be the foremost expert on sensory marketing because of her work with the Sensory Marketing Laboratory at University of Michigan, agreed with him in an interview that was published in the March 2015 issue of the Harvard Business Review. She talks in that article about how in the past companies basically communicated at their customers. It was basically a monologue. She talks about how that's evolved and it's become more of a dialogue with customers providing feedback. But she says that now, and I quote, they're becoming multidimensional conversations, with products finding their own voices and consumers responding viscerally and subconsciously to them. In the book, Beckerman talks about 7 principles of sonic branding, and the first principle that he talks about is using sound to create experiences. Positive experiences make people want to buy and continue to buy. He uses an example of grocery stores in the book, and I did a little bit of additional research about grocery store music. You know, that easy listening music that'll almost put you to sleep as soon as you walk in the grocery store. Mood Music, which was formerly known as Muzak, is the company that pioneered background music more than 80 years ago. And at that time, they had psychologists and musicians put together specific types of music to create what the company required. Easy listening music was used in grocery stores because it was seen to slow shoppers down, and the more time they spent there, the more they would purchase. I even read one interview that indicated that Muzak knew that the longer families stayed in the grocery store, the more likely a child was to tear into a product, thus requiring the family to purchase the product. You contrast that to a produce section of another grocery store where every produce section has some kind of irrigation system to put water on the produce. Well, in this particular grocery store, as soon as the irrigation system started, they began a soundtrack that included rain and thunder sounds. Now you tell me, the next time you get ready to go buy a head of lettuce, are you going to be more apt to go to the grocery store where you have a rainforest experience, or where you basically fall asleep listening to the grocery store music that's playing over the sound system? I recently had a situation where where I can show where an experience makes a complete difference. There's a new restaurant in town that I was particularly excited about. It offered a new type of cuisine that wasn't available locally. I wasn't very impressed with their location. It was inconvenient and it was in a strip mall, but I went nonetheless. When I entered, I walked in to find very stark surroundings, institutional tables and chairs with plastic table coverings. The only sound I remember was a baby crying and the wait staff and the kitchen staff talking to each other, hollering back and forth at each other from the kitchen to the dining room. Needless to say, even though the food was good, the experience wasn't necessarily that appealing. Compare that to the local coffee shop where I go on a regular basis. When I walk in there, they call me by name. I place my order. Sometimes they already know what I want. When I place my order, while I'm waiting for it, there's pleasant, recognizable music playing. I can hear my drink being crafted, and then once again, my name is called when I'm ready for when my drink is ready. Nothing is more appealing to a customer than to hear their own name. So, while yes, there are two different types of of experiences here. Needless to say, I go back to the coffee shop and I haven't been back to the new restaurant in town. I think Beckerman makes some excellent points about using sound in marketing, but the concept isn't unique. To me, the most important concept is how sound and other senses can contribute to the consumer experience. A positive consumer experience will keep customers returning for the product time and again.